and me.
Seems like a
Everybody's audio's on. Let's transition. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dying of Exposure. My name is Steve. I'm your game mommy, and I'm joined by my kooky cosmonauts. Say hello, kooky cosmonauts.
Hello, kooky
Hello,
cosmonauts.
cosmonauts. I'd really rather not.
Well, too bad. Too bad.
I love that
you commit to the bit. You commit to the bit. It's been a minute since the TTRPG has graced this as a live streaming channel. This is our new Candela Obscura. We're going to start off going around the table. The overlay will evolve, of course, to include these things, but Mommy only has so much time in the day, and a lot of that is filled with wine drinking and staring in the middle distance. Mommy's a very busy mom. So let's start at the top. How about you introduce yourself and the name of the character you'll be playing. We're going to start with you, Abby.
How dare you take a drink?
How dare I?
How dare
I
you?
should have known better. Only dehydration every day. My name is Abby. I am known as Guild Girl Productions online, and I will be playing the professor role in its own special way with Nim de Plume.
Nim de Plume. Amazing.
I love it.
An absolutely incredible name. We'll center Abby a little bit more here. All right, Glitch, you're up next.
You should, because you got a good name.
Got the razzle dazzle.
Put her in the middle.
Smack dab in the middle.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
It's just my turn.
Yep, it's your turn.
I'm that son of a glitch playing. Is he good enough?
How dare you? I read that and I was like, what is that?
Good shit.
Good shit. It's good enough, but we just say good enough to make it sound easy for people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I officially I was worried that my name was going to be too cheesy, but I see I'm in good company.
You are.
Was it?
You are.
Sorella?
Originally, for the placeholder for your name, Will, I literally just had the name Willy Woney. Because I was like, if you haven't come up with that, there's no way you won't play it.
That is actually dangerously. That's actually dangerously close to my username on FetLife. But
and there you go. Oh, little bit of conversation. I want to transition off FetLife, but I'm not going to do that to them. Kelly, introduce yourself.
It's me?
Yeah, it's
Hi,
you.
I'm Kelly. I use she, they pronouns. I go by the Kellhop on the internet, and I will be playing Kilo Tillera Jones, also known as Kilo. He is our soldier. He uses he, they pronouns.
And right beside Kelly, introduce yourself. Will.
Oh, me. Okay. I heard right beside Kelly. I'm like, that could be anybody if I'm not paying attention to the screen. Hi, I am Radio Free Will. That's the name you can find me on most places. Sometimes there's an underscore in there somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to be playing Eddie Deckard, the Weird.
The weird
medium. That's what it is.
The
weird is like the catalog.
You're a medium.
Yes, I'm a medium weird.
You're medium weird.
Medium weird.
I mean, that's the role playing part.
I'm extra large in life, but I'm playing a medium weird.
Medium weird. And finally, welcome to the game, Julia.
Hello, my name is Julia Stark at stark.ju. Ju. I don't know how to say it better. And I'll be playing Terry Bite. The role, the face, the man.
Terry Bite. So many pun names in this.
I didn't get the memo, honestly.
You didn't.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
know.
fine. Your name is Kilo Jones is a great.
Every group is a straight man.
Is a great name.
Yeah.
How dare you refer to the Kellhop as a straight man?
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's very homophobic.
Although Kilo Jones,
homophobic, weirdly gender affirming. It's a very confusing thing.
Kilo Jones is super close to Kylie Jones, like the character from Ted Lasso.
I don't know.
I've
never seen Ted
Kaylee?
Lasso, unfortunately.
I've never seen it.
Kaylee, I believe, is the name. Yes.
Yeah, Kaylee Jones. But anyway.
And so we are going and using the system Candela Obscura, and smartly I decided, but I want to play a space game, which Candela Obscura is a Victorian horror investigation game, is totally built for and absolutely works. But I came from D&D. I only know how to hack things into things that they are not optimized to be played in, and therefore Candela, but in space.
Because here's a homebrew house.
So with the ads currently in progress, we are going to vamp a little bit before I get into the introduction, because this is a Twitch first stream. It will be going up on YouTube. It will publish at 9 a.m. Pacific time the following Wednesday, every week that it airs. But we thought we'd do like a little before the holiday thing, because we're probably not going to be online on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. I doubt all of us are doing nothing both of those days.
I'm totally free.
But I wanted. Yeah, it was maybe Will and I will do something.
Actually, no, I have family shit both of those days.
Okay, I will be alone streaming. I don't know, Veilguard. Anyway, or Marvel Rivals, but nonetheless, VODs will. But I wanted to officially say that this launched in 2024. So here we are at the absolute last minute, and it makes my ADHD heart full. So. Yeah. Without further ado, now that the ad break is over on Twitch, let us join our kooky cosmonauts. Let's join our kooky cosmonauts in the wonderful world of space. I'm sticking with it at least for this episode. It's this episode, maybe future ones. We don't know.
World of space.
We track through the cosmos. It's not now. It's not the current year. This isn't some magical, mysterious, long time ago in a galaxy far away. It is the future. It's far into the future. Not a few hundred years, well past Star Trek, well past Futurama. Thousands of years from now. In a place that we have no name for other than a handful of astronomers that have documented that section of the night sky. But we're not even on a planet or on a singular spaceship. We're on a space station. Now, I cannot be more clear that this space station is not one like the space stations we might even know from most of our sci-fi. A large structure floating in space, a dock harbor for several spaceships and everything. This is a city into and of itself. If one were to consider the current era's great cities, the Londons, the New Yorks, the souls of the current eras, this is more the vibe. A dense place, a place that was deliberately built and deliberately expanded upon. No cobbled together, at least in most neighborhoods, of random cargo ships that decided to stay parked. No, several different locations where ships can dock, several different areas where people live, different, or most certainly a downtown, but different districts. So large is this space that it is like almost a small country to itself. This is the station of Veles, in a quadrant unknown, orbiting a static moon that has detached from its original planet, gently drifting through the physical world or the physical realm. We're gonna zoom in a little bit closer. We're gonna dive through a few different areas, pass through a cargo bay, pass through anti-gravity lifts, and we're going to see neon signs, and we're going to go up through what would essentially be an elevator shaft, or a turbo lift, or any number of things, but they just call them lifts. We see some places feel like they're contained in buildings, and then other times they reveal revealed views or projected views of parks and almost city streets. All of it, of course, enclosed. All of it, of course, protected from the vacuum outside. Aside,
if I may,
and we get, yeah.
I'm kind of envisioning it like the image that sort of struck me is it almost looks like the what do they call it? The Starship England from like that particular episode of Doctor Who. It was like the second Matt Smith episode. And
yes,
like
I know exactly what
you
you're
can
talking
see,
about.
as you're sort of like flying towards it, it almost creates this image of, you can't really call it a skyline because there's no like sky behind it, like it's, you know, the vacuum of space behind it, but it's still like that jagged profile.
It definitely has a skyline, if you will, a horizon line.
Right.
Many levels. Too many to count right now, but we're going to start in a little neighborhood filled with bustling people. In said neighborhood is dense housing, dense apartments, certainly run down a bit by years, decades of mismanagement by the city or by the district Repair and Maintenance and Infrastructure Guild. This little district is filled with people, humans like you would expect to see them, as well as aliens of all manner, quadruped, septiped aliens, 7 legs, an inconvenient number of legs to have, but things with insectoid wings, things with breathing apparatuses, kiosks on the sides of the walkways. No streetcars or anything like that. Up above, you can see taxis ferrying people left and or to and fro. But here on the streets, a walking place. We turn to the left down, not an alley, but a side street where a number of facilities exist. A protein shake bar, a place that sells various supplements and enhancements, and of course several gyms, combat gyms, weightlifting gyms, and we zoom in on our first cosmonaut. Would you physically describe Izzy for us, please, Glitch, and what they are doing in this essential, like, we'll call it like a gym about half the size of a 24-hour fitness. Like, kind of in that kind of vein. So big, but not huge.
All right. So, Izzy Goodenough is, I want to say, somewhat reptilian. Think of like the aliens from Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. Little bit reptilian, yes.
Mm-hmm. Humanoid / reptilian. But like little stubby tails.
Little stubby tails. About how tall is he in foot and inches? Though I'm sure they use the metric system on this station because there's no way that survives.
There's no way. How about give him 5'8".
And what is Izzy up to right now in this athletic training space?
It's just working out.
Working out, free weights, machines, body resistance. Is he working on that core?
He's doing upside down not push. You know what? Fuck it. Upside down push-ups.
Upside down push-ups. He's so strong. He's so strong.
Well,
he's so strong and Doritoed.
We're in space. Gravity can be gravity.
There's still push-ups. Like he's still laying down, but just inverted. So it's just this way.
Oh, he's doing them on the ceiling. I see. I thought you were just doing a handstand push-up there. Okay. Handstand push-ups on this, or regular push-ups inverted on the ceiling in this upside-down gravity space.
You gotta train your vertigo, dude.
Izzy, a former coworker of yours who is a man with kind of we'll call it a meager beard, kind of brown hair, a little bit tubby, who comes to work out with you, but mostly just sits on the equipment. Sits on the equipment and talks to you while you work out. Human skin, very human looking, and everything, is just sitting there like, I don't know, if you would just, there's an open position. They reached out to me because they knew that
No, I'm not doing aquapool again.
I know you don't like aquapool, and I know that, but literally any team you're on, it changes the brackets. You have to understand, my fantasy aquapool league depends on you. I overslept during the draft, and now I got this team that's a bunch of underdogs. It could be a bad news Bears 37 situation.
Look, dude, I am not an aquapooler anymore. I am a free baller. I like to play free ball.
I know you like to play.
You doesn't have a ball for one. I don't like balls, so free ball is awesome.
It's weird that it's called free ball, but it doesn't have a ball. That's a weird.
Of the ball.
I suppose that is in the name.
Bad. It's not fury surfing. It's not. Well, brawl soccer is awesome, but turbo slam tag. That's my choice.
Turbo Slam Tag was dope. It's super weird that got shut down by the government, but I suppose with all the debts. Anyway, I'm just saying that you just have to play like one season, and inevitably the playoffs you bring the team to, and then you'd be good to go. And you can make a little money. I know that you haven't found another roommate since I got married.
I'm enjoying the fact that I don't have another roommate.
Like you don't miss me. Like you don't miss me waking you up.
I miss the food being left out that neither one of us is going to eat because it's your cooking.
Hey, if it ain't burnt, it ain't suited for human consumption. There's germs in everything except for the trash that I leave by my bed. That's fine. It can sit there for weeks.
But the mold, the mold came alive, okay? Or was that your ex-girlfriend?
It did. Oh, I see what it is. I see what it is.
Sorry, I had to.
Listen. You shouldn't bring up past romantics. You know how jealous my husband gets, and it gets about the fact that I dated quite a bit and was very popular among the single and not so single population of the neighborhood.
Well,
but
single
I'm just saying.
But yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, think about it. And while you're having this conversation, there's like a monitor, kind of projected up in like a corner, and normally it would be sports or something, but for someone that is very boring turned it to a local kind of like news outlet, a local kind of like news news broadcaster, and for some reason the volume's on. And this person with big bulging, sort of like really classic gray alien vibes, tiny mouth, big gray eye, big black eyes and everything like that, but little bit of a toupee, side part and everything, sits there and is like, and you overhear him and him being like, in outer station news, the diplomats from St. Blaise will be arriving again for their annual visit to Veles. St. Blaise, as everyone knows, is the annexed selection of different former cargo ships, cruise ships, and party ships that decided that they no longer needed to be a part of Veles. Never a popular event, the protests have already begun, and they show cuts to people at the kind of like outside the docks where wealthier people tend to come, that have the facilities for wealthier people in Veles, kind of up in the kind of there's no like north or south or up or down in space, but we'll call it the kind of upper floors kind of top of the map posting region, the top of the map north, if you will, if you were looking on it down, region. And you can see just tons of populations, literally like several thousands of people held behind guardrails, not getting violent, just holding up their signs. They quickly feel like Blaze still relies too much on Veles for a group of people that said that they didn't need it. They don't like that they took some of the vacation options away, the cruise galactic ships and things like that. And they feel like they're just being favored because they're a bunch of wealthy shitheads. As that little bit of news plays, a clip from the protests from last night is played of somebody throwing a strawberry-ish pink red fruit of some kind dessert beverage at one of the enforcement officers, the security officers for the district. And things not erupting into like whole violence. Fortunately, cooler heads prevailed, and nobody got, nobody got arrested or pulled in. But it getting almost heated, and we cut now to a completely new person who is on their screen, who is currently being displayed on screens across tens of thousands of viewers right now. Reacting to the news of this political hubbub, this political drama. Julia, would you please describe Terry Bite while he is currently streaming and doing video clip reactions? We'll go with what hour, how long has he been streaming so far today?
I think today, I don't know, 22 hours. Like
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I think
classic Terry Bite.
Yeah, he's doing that thing where he has sort of like a not like a full thing, but like a visor here, where he can stream whenever he wants, kind of like Dragon Ball, like here, just on one eye.
Counter.
And then he just starts and like it records his reaction, and then he just do it whenever he wants. So it's been like 22 hours. It's been great.
How does Terry feel about the sort of elite wealth class that is the that is the kind of Blaze location of people? And again, to be clear, this is not attached to Veles. Everything around Veles or that's part of Veles is attached, and there's nothing else that isn't a ship usually that goes. But several decades ago, there was a movement to detach for the wealth class, couple decades, like 20, 25 years. So it's still fairly new. And how does Terry feel about this?
I think Terry feels like he's trying, he has to show to people, to like his followers, that he's not as wealth as he is, because I think he's kind of, he doesn't want to appear privileged. So he's wearing like a gear that kind of is trying to look like a streetwear. And like, but it's clearly like a gear with tags, like stuff attached to it. But trying to perceive as if like I'm just like everyone else and this is so bad, but he doesn't really care for the cause. I don't think he's very like impassive. Like
okay.
To borrow a phrase from a rapper, he's rocking the t-shirt, but his sweat isn't in it.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So it's very not like, it's very not deep for him.
Yeah, it's not deep. It's he just knows that his audience is mostly people that could never have afforded a galactic cruise before the ships were taken.
I think it's not
and
that he's
certainly
not
not now.
Yeah, I don't think it's not that like he doesn't he's trying to lie to his audience. I think he's trying to appear likable enough
Excuse me.
and be
Right.
and not be
Putting on the
controversial.
persona.
Yeah.
Putting on the
Yeah,
sacred
Please
persona.
let
just-
me.
I'm just like you. I put my fancy pants on one leg at a time to everybody.
If you ask me, I'll go there because I love you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Julia, because you narrated this way, before you describe the physicality of Terry, I would like you to roll a sway roll for me.
Ooh, first
in
roll.
how
First
much
roll.
your audience
Ooh,
believes,
first
how much of your
roll.
audience, first roll of the game.
Ooh, first roll.
So that would be for you 2d6, higher
2d6.
number.
Okay.
Back roll.
6.
A 6, that is a
baby.
complete success. So with that complete success, and your audience being like, yeah, for some reason, you've got big like Hassan and anti-establishment energy vibing off you, even though you don't vehemently believe those things, or Hassan energy. But like right now, let's go with now, knowing that you are so persuasive, knowing that you're in that streetwear as you've described, can you describe what Terry looks like as a person now for us?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
So,
And remember, as an artist, though you are not being demanded by the stream or by the group to draw this, you will inevitably have to draw what you describe because it is in your nature, at least for yourself. So
It is your
Yeah.
purpose.
be kind to yourself.
so what I imagined that goes better for Terry. Terry is extremely old, as some
Oh,
of
yeah.
us know. He's been around for super long, and you know when like there's a celebrity or someone, a public image that does a lot of surgeries and like procedures to like maintain. His thing is like he's trying to maintain human like features, so he's a very artificial human.
Oh boy.
So like he has a very like robotic elements to his face, so like connections like between like his features, but it's all everything is trying to emanate human or skin or like very bright. And he's usually like he has a few sponsors since his like streams are mostly like lifestyle and living forever. He's sponsored, and then his current sponsor is a hair company that the hair color changes according to the mood or whatever you want. So you like you choose your color for your day, and they are trying to implement that for like tattoos, but
So cool.
Terry was not brave enough for that one yet. So yeah,
You'll get
he's
there.
kind of a human android with streetwear that is like robot. So he's kind of a mess.
My question for you is, does
boy.
Terry, this is a lore question,
Okay.
does Terry looks humanoid, little bit robotic, very kind of like cybernetics
Yes.
and surgeries to kind of maintain the aesthetic and everything. Does Terry know if they're actually
Uh-oh.
human?
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Did I
is
drop?
the stream still up?
Stream is
Looks like
still,
it
I mean,
for mine.
it's still up on my phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still see me.
Oh, I hear you, Steve.
Okay,
There we
there
go.
you
You're
go, there
good.
we
You
go.
can hear me. Okay,
We
one
got
back.
you. We got you.
Yeah. Okay. Does Terry know if they're still a human being? Or does Terry know if they were always a human being?
I don't think so, but I think he doesn't think about that.
Doesn't think. He is now. That's what he is.
So in the past.
That's what he's now.
Human, clearly.
Why would I know?
Terry, you have your feed cut, not by some malicious group or anything, but by 5 minutes of ads. So you have a 5-minute break of ads. And in this world, the streaming service, which, by the way, what's the major streaming service you're on right now?
1 second.
Either of the ones you pitched me.
Yeah, I think it's
Any of
gonna
the
be-
names are good.
Soul Sync. Does it sound
Soul
nice?
Sync.
So-
I like it.
Yeah.
SoulSync. SoulSync doesn't have a subscribers get to avoid this. Subscribers just get to mute it. But they still have to watch it. Yeah, it's dark. But in that 5 minutes, someone who's been in your live chat and everything, you hear them beep in on your earpiece. Do you pick up the call? We're gonna go with Alec Thander. That's Thander with a TH.
Why would you do that?
Alec Thander, this is your business manager.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Alex,
Ooh.
right away.
You peep in. Terry,
Am I canceled?
what?
Am I canceled?
No, you're not canceled. You're doing fine, buddy. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. They love you. They love you.
I am.
They love everything about you, Terry.
I am.
Terry, you are the best in the business. You are a consummate professional. But I did notice that your brand drops have moved from about one mention every 37 to 45 seconds on average to almost 65 to 73 seconds on average. And remember, that does affect the bottom line. So do keep pushing the color changing hair. Do keep talking about how excited you are for your sub goal, because if it hits that amount, if it hits that 175,000 new subscribers for this week, you will get that face tattoo. That is a binding contract you agreed to. So
Oh baby.
Can't we cancel the face tattoo? I think the hair, the marketing is done just by my looks. Look how good it looks on me. Like they should.
it looks so good. It looks so good. But the face tattoo, remember the contract. I went over it. You only have to have it for 90 days and then you can get it replaced. They know who you are. You're too famous to permanently mark yourself with a brand. It will have to be the mascot from the company, which I do understand. You don't want like a chubby little child with giant razor claws doing a sweetie face on your actual cheek. But it will have to be that, but it will allow you, if you want to finally move out of that empty cave and maybe move up a few floors in the station again, get back to where you were 55 to 70 years ago.
Yeah,
Whoa.
you told me 90 days is nothing for me, so
Yeah,
I can do
Yeah.
that. I can do.
you
both
can do
things
it. I
today.
knew you could. I knew you could.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you go so that you can come in on that. I'm gonna post a poll on whether or not the chubby faced child with the razor claws should be kind of turning from behind and have like that dog that's pulling off its bathing suit, like that old super retro suntan lotion, like a little bit of a send up and everything. I think that company's IP has been acquired. I'll figure it out. Thank you so much, Terry. You keep it up. Only 10 more hours to go on the stream. A solid 32, and then 8 hours off, and then another 32, and then your whole weekend. Amazing.
Netflix, we got it under the bag. I'm
And
so
Alec
tired.
Thander disconnects the call, and for 1 to 2 minutes before the advertisements come, nobody's watching you, Terry. What do you do what is Terry's downtime between ads? What does that look like?
I think he starts to contemplate his whole life for 3 seconds, and then he's like, I gotta eat a sandwich, and then he goes to eat a sandwich.
That's so real.
Goes and horks a sandwich in 90 seconds so
That's
that
so
you can
real.
be back when the ads come offline. Just as you come back, you accidentally left the screen on, or the window on, that was covering the protests, or the protests and everything. But it's moved to a different story at this point. It's moved to the restoration of a particular like business district and everything. There's been a lot of movement in revitalizing jobs. Currently, Veles has an unemployment rate of 25%. 1 out of every 4 people are not employed that wish to be employed in Veles. Now, interestingly enough, this being far enough in the future, that does not mean that these people have absolutely nothing. And also, it's a space station. Everybody lives here. They can't go anywhere. And so you do have to population manage. But it turns out that this many thousands of years in the future, they finally figured out that most people want something to do. Now, maybe they don't want to have to do it for money and they want to be able to survive, but they want something to occupy their time. And right now, due to a population boom about 15 to 30 years ago, 30 years ago, and one before that, another 60 years previous, the station is a little dense. And so they're trying to revitalize and redistrict areas that were formerly much more just business to also accommodate housing and create consumer business. And we transfer to this business district to our next person, Abby. It's the middle of a workday, the relative relation to, say, 2 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Right.
Can you please describe Nim for us? And more importantly, what is Nim doing right now?
Nim is a vaguely avian-looking alien type. She has a very humanoid kind of face, but then it kind of fades off into plumage around the face and like kind of vaguely covering the rest of her form to a degree. She's got like the talony kind of slightly curling kind of claws that she's kind of tapping on keyboards. And currently she's probably mid call center call. In the middle of the day, she was probably working on a different thing, and then she got the beep in her ear from like her little headset, and she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Please prepare to translate Negekian into common language. Negekian into common language in 3, 2, 1. And then it beeps in, as it always does, with a person not acknowledging that you exist,
100%.
not acknowledging that you don't introduce yourself. You are part of the Gray Power Enterprises, and you are in a subsidiary of Talk to Me. Talk to Me is a application service that people can do who speak languages that have yet to be entered into the Universal Language Translator Index. These languages are usually fairly rare. They're fairly uncommon. They are spoken inevitably by inevitably hundreds, if not thousands of people on the station, and millions to billions of individuals from their home planets, home systems, but they're not super common here in Veles.
Right.
So Talk to Me is an app that fills that, and your job as a translator is to do live call center translations with people, just repeating from caller A to caller B and caller B back again. Nim, I'm gonna have you give me a different kind of role.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you give me a different kind of role. I would like you to give me a role. You have a handful of skills that you can use, but give me a role, probably in the intuition category, or in the read category. That's basically how good are you at your job today.
Right.
So which skill are you going to use? Because you have a little bit of options here. You can hedge your bets and try and make a case for one of your 2 pip skills or 1 pip skill.
I think for a job where she's going from one language translating to the other one, translating that one back and forth, that it's probably going to be a lot of focus to make sure that she's translating the right language in the right way, back and forth, and following that track so that everything meshes well, without it all getting garbled and confused in between.
2d6 then. Give me the higher roll.
Let's go. That one's going to be a 5 as the higher number.
A 5. Not a perfect success, but certainly call center work perfect success.
Right.
If you were being graded on a call survey, which you absolutely will, and it will go into your KPIs, which will be discussed by your supervisor with you, as they do at the next one-on-one meeting, as they overgo your action plan, and your quarterly goals. You'd get a solid score. You'd get a above expectation, but not excellent. And you know that what that means, and you can feel it. You've been working these jobs for a long time. You can feel it. You're like, this is a 4 out of 5, and everything. And you know they're going to bring up the fact that it's like, what opportunities did you miss that you could have made it a 5 out of 5 experience for our customers? But
right, she's sitting there going, okay, I translated bank, but it was like the bank of a river instead of bank as in a place where you
they're going to pick it apart.
That was my bad.
Yeah, no, they're going to pick it apart. But for now, the call seems fairly simple and goes relatively unattached. And now you're going to play the game of, I work in a call center and know how to mute my device. So your cubicle mate, if you will, the person at the desk literally right next to you, there's probably a solid foot of distance between your two elbows. Your cubicle mate kind of leans over. This is Carol. Carol is a mole person. She looks very much like a mole. She has big spectacles,
tiniest
little beady eyes, big spectacles to magnify those beady eyes. So she's got that.
Did she have the nose tendrils?
She does have the little nose, little guys, the little nose, little guys.
Oh, the little star nose. Yes.
Yeah.
Star nose, and everything. She has been knitting for the last several hours and has made one of her many relatives some knitted item that they will probably wear once on the holiday. She's gonna give it to them. And everything, and she notices when you go on mute, because this is who you distract yourself with your day. And Carol just goes,
besties.
So anyway, Robert comes home Robert comes home and he's got me 7 different kinds of butter, because he said that after 32 years of wedded bliss, he doesn't remember which kind I buy.
Oh my God.
And I don't know what I'm gonna do with this man. What am I gonna do with him?
Well, there's a lot of things you can do without butter.
I mean, there is a lot of things I could do with that. You're a little nasty now. I was
thinking of putting it in a sock and whacking him with it. But you can do whatever you want.
I like that better.
I was thinking baking.
I mean, it could be both. But so wonderful. So wonderful. Hold on. And then Carol mutes in. And then there's a little bit brief pause, and then they're like, you need to sign the second page of the digital agreement, or it's not gonna work. And then she remutes it for a little bit while she's kind of half listening, and she's like, so Blaze is back in town. You gonna do any of that contract work you do, that side work that you do?
Well, I can hope so.
Ooh,
I can hope so. People, if they're coming in, you never know what they're going to need in that kind of way.
Yeah, I'm extremely interested. If you have too much and you're double booked, feel free to float it my way. I could use. Of
course. I can trust you more than anybody else.
a couple backup glasses. Of course. Hold on, let me deal with this asshole.
No, of course.
Yes. If I didn't insult them to their faces, I wouldn't be able to tolerate working a full workday. And then she, give me a read check, please.
A read check. And
1d6 for you.
Yeah.
And while you do that, someone insisted that we hydrate.
It was me.
Oh, okay.
Have a sip.
Sippy, go around.
I just did it.
That's going to be a 4.
A 4. It takes you a bit. You're back on your call.
Mm-hmm.
You're back on your call. You realize that Carol did not hit mute when she talked about them on that
boy.
one. And and you only realize it as she's beginning to do damage control. And you know what that means. Because you can insult them on mute all you want, but the danger you run is if you don't hit it, you might not have a job.
Right.
Oh my god. No.
What do you do in this moment? Nim? You have options here. You can try and take over the call. I don't know, Abby, if you've ever worked in call centers. I've worked in so many of them. You can try and take over the call. You can try and do something deceptive and try and like digitally cover for Carol. You have lots of options. What do you do in this moment, knowing that Carol, you can hear Carol like de-escalating pretty effectively and everything. She's obviously lying about what she was talking about and everything, but you know if that call gets heard by anyone, Carol is not going to be your desk mate or your cubicle buddy.
Right.
It's hard to break in a
She's
good
going to just
guess,
be like, she's going to start putting herself like, you want me to jump on? Like,
Okay. Carol's like, hold on. I apologize for my language to the one of you that understood me. Let me get you over to my supervisor. You're not Carol's supervisor.
Yeah.
And you then like break into the call. Do that. I'm gonna give you one last roll here, and this one is sway.
Sway. Okay.
Sway.
I'm gonna let before you decide before you tell me what you get and everything.
Yeah.
Understand this roll has consequence.
No,
Meaning that if you do not roll a 5 or a 6 on this, Carol's gonna lose their job. If you roll a 1 or a 2, if you roll 1, you might lose your job. Would you like to invest some of your cunning drives in this so you can roll extra dice about it?
100%.
So you can invest up to 3. As a reminder, you can recover cunning drives or drives by utilizing your. It's marked with a diamond. I can't quite remember the word that they use for it in this moment. What?
Gilding?
Yeah, gilded die, where you can then choose to roll one of your gilded skills, and you assign a die to it, and you take that result, and that's how you get your drive markers back for that thing. So it's a fluid currency on these drives. Most of you should have 1 or 2, I think 2, of your skills marked like with the little diamond on the left of your character sheet.
Yeah.
And you might choose to roll something and then be like, I chose this dice as the gilded dice, so I'm gonna fail at this now so I can recover drives for later. But right now you're at max drive, so what do you want to roll, Nim? How many D6 do you want to roll? Or do you want to just try it with 1?
I definitely like to use more dice.
You can use up to all 3 of them. You could roll 4d6 if you wanted to.
I think for today, I'm going to roll 2 of them. Because I
2
love
of them.
Carol.
So you're gonna burn 2. So 3d6.
Yes.
Highest number of cross them is what you will get.
Okay.
If you roll 3 ones,
That would be
the
so
dice
sad.
wanted you to fail.
That would be
Responsibility.
so fucking tragic.
On 3d6, the possibility of that is 1 in 216.
Yeah.
I rolled a 6. I had a 6, a 4, and a
6.
1. I am very glad that I had.
Ooh, the 4
amount
wouldn't
of
have
dice
done
that I
it.
rolled.
The wouldn't have saved Carol, and the 1 would have been real trouble for you.
It
But the
would've been
6,
bad.
the 6.
Especially that's the die that I've been rolling so far. It's like, oh, that one was about to betray me. I am so glad I rolled more dice.
Nim, you smoothly handle this call.
Mm-hmm.
And the 6 results not in you smoothly handling that. That wasn't in question. You've been doing this work. You have translated in much more tense situations than this call center will ever bring you. But it's an app for goodness sakes. But here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
You only save Carol not because you necessarily handle this call very well.
Mm-hmm.
Carol is saved. The 6 is because you calm down the customer so much so that they will not even remember this happened. But what they will remember is a power outage.
Mm-hmm.
Because suddenly the power goes dark in the entire call center.
Oh, dang.
And the call disconnects. And the customer on the end of their line gets a response that says, calls disconnected due to power problems. This is not normal. There are the occasional PSAs and encouragements to conserve power. You're on a space station. It is a limited resource, but it is not a absent or meager resource here. There aren't rolling brownouts or anything like that, or at least there haven't been for a while. But the power goes completely dark. How does Nim respond to the power going dark in the call center? It gets to pitch black, almost, or near pitch black in this place.
Well, Carol should be fine.
Yeah. Carol's chill.
fine. Carol's
Hardly notices the
chilling as a mole.
Very unlike Carol. Nim's eyes just immediately go very wide. I'm just like, fucking can't see. Do you?
And Carol, oh, thank you so much, Nim. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Oh, saved by that, the call recording will be corrupted. No one will hear it. Thank goodness.
What?
Oh, I gotta get better with that mute button.
No, yeah, you have to be better at that.
Yeah. The power's out. Her just realizing that no one else can see as the kind of din of noise of various people start moving.
Nim's slowly trying to stand up and feel around. She's like, oh, there's something up. It's like, yeah, can't see.
A light, a flashlight blares into your gaze. Carol yelps because it's so very bright, and for a moment you're having problems. You blink your eyes aggressively to try and deal with the bright light.
You're supposed to flash those down, not up.
Yeah, the bright light temporarily blinds Nim in this moment.
Oof.
Will, a bright light is staring you right in the eyes.
Bum, bum, bum.
You are in a neighborhood that maybe you should, all things being objective, stay away from, but you just can't seem to. Will, you're on the wrong side of the tracks. Your character is, I should say, in a neighborhood that's in the wrong side of the district, in a district that's on the wrong side of the station. Could not be a more dangerous is the wrong word. Danger is only for people that don't know how to act, usually, don't know how to keep eyes up. but can you describe our beautiful boy Eddie?
Might you call this a wretched hive of scum and villainy?
Perhaps,
Okay.
perhaps indeed. Beautiful boy named Eddie. And in this kind of a neighborhood, where is Eddie in it? And what is Eddie up to?
So Eddie is, from the sounds of all the characters that we've met so far, Eddie is probably the most humanoid, as Eddie is human. We can't call him for various reasons. We can't call him modified, but he is, from all outward appearances, human. He's lanky, very skinny, wearing a black tank top that fits very sort of like loose on him. As this light shines in his face, he sort of squints, and you can see that he has heterochromia. One eye is sort of like a natural like brown. The other is this like vibrant purple, like almost like it almost reflects the light that's being shown into it. His hair is long and kind of greasy in the way that like stands up. Like it's hard to tell if that's done as like a conscious stylistic choice, or if that's just kind of how it grows. It's blue at the ends. Like it's shaved short all on the sides, but sort of like comes to this. You can't call it a mohawk because there's too much on top, but it's sort of like stuck up. Once again, it's hard to tell if that's like a conscious stylistic choice, or if that's just kind of what the grease is doing today, if that's how he slept, kind of thing.
Colorful spiky hair. He must be an anime protagonist.
What's this lanky? What's this lanky disheveled? What's this lanky disheveled gentleman up to right now?
He is. He is meeting with an associate of his to make a transaction.
The light leaves your eyes.
Yep.
And a square-bodied, four-armed, kind of praying mantis headed looking fellow spits to the side onto the ground below you in this kind of abandoned manufacturing facility that's been abandoned probably longer than you've been alive, Eddie. And it's like, yep, he's clean right now at least. He's okay to go on through. And there's like a doorway that has sort of like plastic vinyl sort of sheeting, almost like you would see behind like a butcher shop or something, just something to keep the dust from transitioning from one location to the other, so it's not like a proper door and everything. As you are meeting this associate, Eddie, you've seen this fella 100 times. You don't know his name. He's never given it to you. He doesn't like you. He doesn't seem like he's the type to like anyone, and everything.
Bouncer's job.
Yeah, and you get passed into a pretty empty space at this point. It would be like an office if it wasn't like several square meters big, right. And everything. Obviously, it was part of the manufacturing process at one time, but everything's been stripped out of it. And there's just this big empty space and a metal desk at the very far end of it, and a person sitting feet up, a person who's got the head, who's very human like you. You don't know if they're actually human, but they look very much human. Human like you, except they definitely also are more put together than you. Big, clear pinstripe.
Clear.
Yeah, not a high bar. Pinstripe suit, but the stripes are black, and between the pinstripes is transparent to like a wine red, kind of shiny clubbing shirt. Hair slicked back, thick furrowy brows, little bit of a unibrow, like it's wanting to touch, and everything. Young guy, square jaw, cleft chin, lanky like you, but like not like underfed lanky. Like that's just the build of him. Feet up on the table, scaled shoes, could be reptilian leather, might be from an animal, might be from a different species. With this guy, who knows? Eddie, my boy. So you reached out. What? You reached out. You said we got a deal to make, Eddie. You know me. I always like deals. This is Tommy Two Shoes. Full name, Tomothy Moretti.
Right. Yeah, Tommy. I got some news. I heard the fungus is spreading. And I know it's like sometime like it's if you get the right strain, it can have that it's a very good kind of it can be a good trip.
Yeah. I mean, are we talking about the right strain of fungus, or are we talking about the wrong strain of fungus? Like, what does it matter if there's a little bit more fungus? There's a whole forest of it.
Right. No, but it's I've heard it spreading. I know.
It's strange.
No. Okay. How many times have I come in with news for you in this regard, and it's turned out okay?
I mean, amazingly, Eddie, as a former customer, now compatriot, you have been doable. You know what? Fungus is spreading. All right, Eddie. So you said, I'm guessing you want me and my guys to do something about it because no one else is doing something about it?
Well, no, it's not it. I'm letting you know now because if you can harvest it, I'm saying harvest it. I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
I'm saying. Yep. I'm saying you can get in on this boom before anybody else can.
Okay. All right. I mean, it doesn't take much to send some of my people out to take a look. If you give us some directions on where you're sensing it spreading. I get that it's always worked in the past, Eddie. It's very hard for me to believe that any gestures to your whole form has some sort of connection. Next thing I know, you'll be showing up in a robe and chanting about how you can hear them from the outside, like those chorus motherfuckers.
I love them.
Those are fucking weirdos.
Yeah. But hey, they say it's all like spiritual and everything. A number of them are customers, so I don't know how much of that is spiritual and how much of that is the fungus.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, but I'm definitely going to do that. I'm happy to compensate you appropriately for this tip as it pans out. Standard arrangement, 10, 15, or we'll go 15%. You know what? You've been good the last few ones, real good on that. I'm gonna go 20% up front, pans out, rest of the 80% or the other 80% on confirmation that it's gonna do well and everything. But Eddie, it was so good that you contacted me now because I need somebody to
Would.
do me a little favor. And you and I have had the last couple years of developing and growing our relationship. Employer to employee, former customer to employee, former customer to former retailer. And of course, I'd like to consider us friends at this point. I need you, Will, to please give me a sense roll.
Okay,
Friends.
I do
Wee.
that.
I think you have 2 pips in it.
Seems I do have 2 pips in it. I also have the gilded thing in it. So
Yeah, and so do you want to name one of your die, and then you have to take that result no matter what? You don't need to. You haven't spent any of your drive. You're fine.
So, being new to this system, am I rolling the dice and adding them together?
No, just the
The
2 of them, and
Pick
you
the
want one of
highest.
the higher number. Yeah,
And you want the highest
there's
number
more
to be high.
opportunities for high. 5, perfect.
Good.
You're not 100% sure. Sure of this. Tommy is actually pretty affable for a person in his line of work. There's a lot more grumpy ones that are much more like the praying mantis outside than there are
Sure.
a guy who likes to talk. And he's chatty, and you've never let him down, but he's never done anything to make you concerned that he won't like recognize that trust. He's
Yeah.
also around your age.
Sure.
He's all around your age and everything. So you know what he's going to ask you is probably illegal, but it's not necessarily anything you haven't done before.
Sure.
And he, when he says he considers you a friend, it might not be how other people see friends, but it might be how Tommy sees friends.
Right.
And so he comes up. He comes around you. He's shorter than you.
He may not be
what-
intentionally manipulating me, but it's still the notion of friend as pawn rather than friend as
Yeah. Friend as
This will
useful
benefit
thing.
beer.
more than you.
yeah.
Yeah. Useful friend.
Yeah.
But he, but like that's kind of how it works a lot of the time in the community. I mean, in these sorts of circles. But nonetheless, he comes up behind you, or comes up around his desk, stands up. He's shorter than you, and he kind of puts his arm around you and gets his hand kind of resting up on your shoulder, and he goes, "You're alone." There's no reason for him to whisper, but he goes,
Ooh.
"I've got a tip on something that you might be perfect for." Eddie, am I correct in assuming you've never been been above level 33?
Kidding? I've never been above level 25.
Yeah.
Level 33.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You've never been above. So you've been hearing in the news that that the diplomats from Blaze are coming in for their annual, right?
Yeah.
There's a person that I might have blood relations to on that ship.
Might.
And I need to get I need to get a message to them. I can't go digital. I can't hire out for this, and I can't send any of my guys because subtle they are not. That's not the crew that I have built. But maybe we get you a little bit of clothing, maybe a little bit of a nice salon trip, and maybe a certain person who wouldn't be clocked on any of the monitoring up there makes their way casually, just a normal guy. Not a normal guy. We'd have to deal with, you could temporarily deal with your hair, although I don't know the trends now. Maybe that's the look of the day. I'm more of a classic, but yeah, maybe you side onto the ship and get yourself to get pass along a certain handwritten message to someone to open up some other business opportunities for
Handwritten.
your friend Tommy.
I mean, I appreciate the opportunity, but like, and I don't want to seem ungrateful, but like, what's in it for me?
That's why we're friends, Eddie. That's why we're friends, Eddie. An idiot doesn't ask what's in it for them. Eddie, as the connective tissue that helped get this off the ground. Like I said, employee to employer, compatriots, sometimes we've worked together. Have you ever considered maybe moving up? Maybe making this a little bit more official? Maybe being, partner's a strong word, but an invested fellow in our little business that I run here.
That's
You'd get a piece, is what I'm saying. I'd get you a piece. It'd be a persistent piece. That's a persistent piece is repeated pieces.
With this offer, Eddie is sitting here like trying to do the math as best he can because Eddie knows how much money he's spent on drugs. It's
it would be like, it wouldn't be life changing in the way where you wouldn't like suddenly be wealthy, but it would be life changing in the way where, minus maybe a little bit of extra side hustle, even if he's offering you a really low ball percentage, you would definitely be able to fuel your hobby, if you will.
Okay.
Fuel your hobby. You would not have to worry about bills and that. You wouldn't be able to go buck wild on the town, but you would definitely have enough that your preferred imbibements would be more than affordable month over month. And you know he knows that's what he's offering you to a degree, to at least some sort of a degree.
Can I think about it? Can I think about it a little bit? Like if I do the job, can I give you the answer after I do the job for you?
Oh, doing the job on spec. I gotta know if you're gonna do it. But because they're only in for a couple of days, so I gotta figure out arrangements if they aren't in. But if you aren't in, but you can take some time. They're not coming in for another 12 hours or so.
Fucking
think about it. I knew it, Eddie. I knew you'd be the right guy to guess. I'm still on in the call, but like,
I don't think he's frozen. I think oddly enough, he's not. So I'm looking at the stream. He's not frozen for the rest of us. The rest of the stream can see him moving just fine.
Oh, there we go.
Now he's back.
It's just a Discord.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's a weird thing.
It is.
Anyway, I wonder what's doing that. I'll figure it out later. But so if you're in, then you know what we're gonna do, Eddie. We're gonna do a little bit of shopping. And he claps you on the back and then starts just moving toward the door with you, assuming you're gonna follow him, so that we can get you, so that he can get you an outfit and kind of a
real
montage. Mega.
Yeah, go on.
Real quick before we leave, Tommy. He's gonna like fish in his pockets and like pull out a couple of credits and just be like, do you have any glass right now?
He goes, put away the credits, Eddie. And then he pulls out this like beautiful silver kind of like almost like an old cigarette smoking case and everything. And it's embroidered and everything, and he opens it up. Tommy always has something on him. There's a little, when he opens it up, it looks like regular cigarettes, and then he does a little like touch panel thing on the inside of the lid, and it reveals what you're looking for. Put it away. It's a fun day. We're going out. We're buying you some clothes. You should celebrate. And he just hands the container over to you, and kind of keeps walking as we fade to black, knowing what Eddie's about to do.
Yeah.
Knowing what Eddie's about to do when we fade to black, we hear in the distance, just as Tommy goes, "What the hell is that?" Some siren noises.
Oh no.
not vehicle sirens, like air raidy type sirens.
Oh no.
We're going to reverse time a little bit.
Oh gosh.
We're going to step back a few minutes from before that sound happens as Eddie busies himself. Tommy is confused by the noise. And we fade to black, and we fade back from black into a person whose personal alarm is going off. You are at a facility that you punch in and out of 5 days a week, or whatever the weeks are. I'm not going to be confusing with it. It's 24-hour days, 5 days a week. We're not going to get cute with it.
Not getting crazy.
Yeah. We're not like I could be cute, and it's like it's a 27-hour day on 9-day calendars on a 8-month year or something.
On the 57th,
Have the math later.
Nurkaron. I don't know. Make it up.
Yeah, we're gonna be easy about it. So
Right.
5 days a week.
It's September 27th, 37th. There we go.
Yeah,
September 37th. Yep.
5 days a week.
Yeah.
You punch in, but that alarm is to remind you to punch out. It's about 3 p.m. You have an early day. I mean, it is the industry that you work in, and you're in the break room that also has quite literally a physical device with a clock on it, and then a pinned to the wall next to it is a bunch of like sleeve shelves with physical cards that people punch in and out on. With like a rotating stamp in the most analog thing that you've ever seen. Break room, classic break room. Kitchen on one quarter, vending machines on the other. You'd think it's the future, and vending machines would be like super stylish and everything. There's an automatic coffee maker, and there's like a machine that has half of its snacks are empty at this point because it doesn't get refilled quickly. Coffee's burnt. The vending machine is dingy. The food is stale. There's a bunch of magazines. On the TV is some guy who drives people around in taxis and quizzes them, and they can win credits with it. And everything. It's muted. And everything. And it's the end of the day. Callie, would you please describe your wonderful, wonderful waste management associate for us?
Oh boy. Well, the first thing
What's
you
his
would
name? First.
Kilo
Full name.
Tillera Jones goes by Kilo. The first thing you would notice about Kilo is most likely his shadow, because he's 7'3". He's absolutely
Big boy.
He's a big boy.
Holy.
He's quite a big boy. Because he's quite a big boy, we'll work from the bottom up, because usually that's how people perceive him. It's just like, it just keeps going up. He is wearing old, well-worn, but nicely polished shoes for some reason. Why he bothers polishing them, who can say? He is, as you look up, he is wearing a navy short sleeve coverall. With like the little V, like the classic collar. But has a couple of extra sleeves because Kilo has 4 arms, and he is large. Not necessarily. It's like if you were to run at him, you just know in your heart that if you went full speed, it would be like running into a wall.
Built like a lighthouse.
Yes. You can tell that, he works hard. There are various spots in his coveralls where clearly he's like busted through the knees or has a tear here or a rip there. But the stitching is pristine. It's as perfect as and lined up as like a military cemetery. It is just bam, 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 just like top-notch work. He has a nice name tag, little oval name tag that says Kilo on it. Somewhat severe looking claws that are in a bit of a retracted state, but you can tell that maybe in a state of alarm they would extend a bit further. Scaly, a little bit reptilian, mossy green type of skin, scales rather. What else? Oh, very like a tree trunk. His neck comes out of these coveralls, and He has an elongated reptilian snout, rather severe looking teeth, longer slits where his nose is, like up the sides of his snout, yellow eyes that blink upward. So you have the little, so blinking upward. Also has what appear to be horns, but they're a little bit it's odd because it almost looks like there's indentations in his skull, like a track for the horns, and they're clearly in a relaxed state right now. They're almost flush with the rest of the scales on his head. He has no hair, but they are in a resting state, and they have a very dangerous curve to them as they extend backward. He's clearly built potentially for war, but this is just another day on the job.
Another day on the job. You hit that punch card in the slot, and at the almost as if on cue, a plume of cotton candy smelling vapor overwhelms you as your partner, who could not be more different than you, a short, shriveled, sphinx looking, or not sphinx looking, sphinx kind of wrinkly, hairless, feline looking alien named Yancey.
A raw chicken breast of a
raw chicken breast of a cat person. And you know that Yancey loves to, like, Yancey is 2 feet shorter than you. Yancey is so much shorter than you. So Yancey is blowing. Sometimes. Yeah. And Yancey goes, all right, Kilo, so you didn't ever tell me, Kilo, are you gonna join us? You gonna join us at the bar tonight? We're doing karaoke again, Kilo. We're all curious about what those big vocal cords would do with some songs.
Yes, I gotta be darn straight with you. I don't quite have a singing voice, I promise you.
I'm sure if you just talked in tones, it would seem like singing.
Talked? Are you sure about that?
Like, melodically talked.
Yancy, I have a question. Does your singing voice sound much like you talk?
I have been told by my mom that I have a lovely singing voice.
All right. I'm not trying to get you all up in arms about it. I'm not trying to get you mad.
You could see for yourself. If you come with us. We've invited you every week, and every week you have an excuse. We're gonna get you out there, Kilo. Come on. You don't have to be shy.
I got things to
We're
take
all
care
union.
of at home. I gotta go feed the cat. He does not have a cat. Gotta go feed the cat.
Yancey knows that you don't have a cat.
No, she doesn't.
Yancey knows. Is never said anything about it, but they know.
Knows all.
You can't tell feline alien that you Yancey. She
could smell.
Lion cat.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You'd have fur on you. Anyway.
I would not. I keep my clothes perfect.
Yancey's like, all right, Kilo. All right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. And then, as you're having this conversation, the sirens sound that were from the last scene. You catch up to the present moment. Again, it's a little after 3 p.m. We started. It's been in across these introductions roughly about an hour or so of time has passed. But these sirens go, I need you to please roll me something dealing with Kilo's memories of their past while they were off Veles.
Oh no.
Okay. Past.
All right.
Not the darkest version, just memories of what Kilo was up to.
Okay. Oh boy.
So you can pick what you want to roll. I would say, do you feel like Kilo tries to bury and hide their true emotions about things?
I think it depends on how riled up they are. I think in this moment he might try to be a little bit more
I would
slow.
say that probably focus then is probably the one to do it. I'm not going to make you roll hide on this. That's more of a physical hiding.
How many dice do I roll for that? I say I have 1 pip.
You have 1 pip in focus, so you would normally roll 1 die. You can use one of your drive marks that you have in intuition to add die to that. So you could potentially roll 4d6 if you wanted to succeed that, but that would burn all your drives.
I think I'm just gonna roll 2. I'm gonna use 1 drive.
Okay, 2, and then the highest number on I.
Okay. Come on, baby. I got a 5. 2 5s actually, so it doesn't really
2
matter.
5s.
But a 5.
And everything. So the memory comes back.
Yeah.
These are raid alarms. You've heard these kinds of alarms before. Not you've heard them here in Veles. You've heard them in other places. And for a moment, you know your mind. You know your mind. You know where it's gonna go, and you shut that shit down. You lock it down. You lock it down externally. You lock it down internally. But with a 5, you keep your head enough to know it's been 15 years since those alarms have had to go off in Veles. Something's amiss. Something's up. Now, they don't do drills with this one. This is everybody pay attention. Something's about to be told to you. It could be a riot. It could be a out of control fire. It could be a problem with containment, and maybe there's maybe a portion of the station has been depressured. It could be something that's as small as a facility or as big as a district with something like this. What does Kilo instinctually do in situations where there are these sorts of warnings? What's Kilo's first? What's their first instinct to do?
Okay, I hope you're ready to roleplay. I think the first thing he does, his entire countenance changes. Even though his expression is remaining calm, there is an intensity to his eyes in this moment, and he says, "Yancey, I think you might want to cancel your karaoke plans. Maybe you should head on home. Clock out. Go pick up your feet."
Yancey, give me a sway roll on that one. That's 2d6. Take the lower die for you. No highly negative consequence to this.
2d6 take the lower die. Okay.
We'll just see if Yancey listens to you.
It's a 3.
You have no dots in sway. Mixed. Kilo, you worry too much. I'll be fine, and everything. Here. If you want to head home, you head home. I'm sure it's somewhere else in the station. You know, Veles is huge. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Yancey?
Yeah?
If you go home right now, the next time there's karaoke, I will not sing, but I will attend for 1 beer.
Deal. Absolute deal.
Like,
And I know you to be a man of your word, Kilo.
I am. A beer. I will not sing. I will not do that.
That's fine. Okay then. I'll go home. I'll ping you when I get there. Yancey shares their location with you for some reason. You never asked for that, but they.
Oh God, this is awfully personal, Yancey. This is
yeah, you never asked for that, but Yancey will sometimes just send you essentially a text message with a location pin, like shopping at the store, and everything.
Oh no!
Every introvert has that one super extrovert friend.
Oh no!
So Yancey begins to put their coat on. And put her coat on and move out the door. Yancey looks old because she's very wrinkly, but she's probably like she easily it could be fresh out of primary school. Like she's probably like somewhere between old teenager to young 20-something, which is pretty rare in this industry. But Yancey's family is like a legacy of waste management. It's union members all the way back, kind of thing. So, all right. So you convince Yancey. Yancey like smiles back at Kilo before she leaves, and the sirens are still going.
I head outside. I want to see what's going on.
Give me a survey check, please, Kilo.
Absolutely.
And I need each of you. Well, you're doing the survey check. You have 2 pips in it, so it's 2d6. I need each of the rest of you to pick a stat as these horns are happening in your world. Pick a stat that you think your character would do and just give me the result of your die roll, but not the stat. And we'll integrate that into next time. So I don't want to know the other people's skills. I just want to know their results so I can prepare danger for their regions or non-danger or complications. And this is also a little improv test for me when we come back next time. Kilo,
now
what did
I have a question?
Oh, go on.
Can I choose? Can I choose to burn a drive after I've rolled 2 to roll an additional die?
This is the first session. Normally, no, but I'm going to let you do it because it's the first session.
All
and
right.
you're asking nicely. And it still burns the resource.
Now we have a 5. We have 5. Yeah, before it was a 2.
Okay, so Kilo, you have a 5. Don't tell me the skill, but just tell me the dice result. Or I know it's in survey for you, Kilo. Don't tell me the skill. I'm going to go around and go around. Terry.
Yeah.
Just what's the result of your roll? The number result.
2.
I love that for Terry so much. Eddie, what's the result of your roll?
Big 6.
6.
Well, are we just rolling 1 dice?
Well, you get to pick so you might roll 2 dice if you have 2 dots in the skill.
All right.
Or you could burn drive or anything like that. It's just you. I don't want to know the skill. I just want to know the result because I want to basically surprise myself and reframe my narrative based off what you've told me as how to express this to you. This is just a little gift to future me, for the new year.
From me.
So, what's your result? What's your result, Izzy?
I rolled 2 dice and got 2 6s. So
6 it is. We love 2 6s. And finally, Nim, what's your result? 4.
Solid 4.
Solid.
A solid 4. As solid
Back
as Kilo's 4
to
arms. Just a solid 4.
our boy Kilo.
Just
Kilo,
4.
when you step outside,
How do I?
when you step outside,
Yeah.
you see something you've never seen before.
Oh.
You've seen the people before. You're on the same, not exactly the same level. The level that you're on kind of opens up to the center, and you can see there's this like fairly large void. And when I say fairly large, I mean like it's several city blocks of distance in between. And there's different, like, you can kind of see up levels and down levels and stuff in the section of the station you're in. And you're just in sight of that fungal forest.
Oh, lovely.
That fungal forest. And the fungal forest, everyone knows, is like a place where people go, sort of like they might go to like a zoo or a national park or something. There's picnicking facilities. There's a couple like structures in there.
Some grills.
There's definitely some outdoor parks and everything. Yeah. There's always been the fungal forest section. It's a large sort of like platform that kind of scoops over the big giant like center empty space of this section of the station and everything. And it's a pretty big park. Like you can't really see, like you see the details of the exterior, but you can't really see into it. It's a pretty big park and it's a pretty big centerpiece of Veles. It's kind of always been here, and everything. But one of the things that happens at the fungal forest is that a lot of people connect spirituality to it for one reason or another. Maybe it's just that there's nature inside the station. There are other parks that don't look like this, that have more trees and bushes and things like that. Yeah. But no place is like this, and the history on it is hazy on like when it popped up or if it has always been part of the station or how it even, like what part of this, when was it brought in and how. But more importantly, one of the religious groups that you casually know, everyone kind of just calls them the chorus, tends to be very connected to that space. And normally it just means that they're off somewhere in the park, gathered, speaking amongst each other, doing whatever religious people do and everything. You, Kilo, have a bit more interest in what they do, but that's neither here nor there, because what you've never seen them do is hover. And you see what looks to be about 24 bodies levitating in above the fungal forest, above the kind of treetops, the mushroom caps, the highest mushroom caps and mushrooms of these giant stalked fungi hovering above. Now, this wouldn't be a problem, but since you rolled a 5, you know that a lot of people might not really immediately notice that because, you know, hover boots are a thing. People have jetpacks. Flying isn't impossible. Yeah. There are species that can fly. The difference here is all of them are in their ceremonial dress, which are these sort of skin-tight. Robes is the wrong word. Robes implies something loose and billowy, but that's what everyone calls them. Think more various shades to match sort of the fungi of the forest. Various shades of like vinyl leather, late 90s, early 2000s Matrix energy clothing. All of them tend to wear dark glasses. All of them tend to look like they want to be the coolest kid from Hot Topic. But in this case, maybe they are the coolest kids from Hot Topic. None of them have any equipment on them.
Again, not a high bar to clear.
Wow.
None of them have any jet packs. None of them have any jet shoes. None of them have anything like that.
Okay.
And just as you clock that, you feel a rumble. You hear it and you feel it before it really begins to shake the floor that you're on, and suddenly the station shudders, and you can see that sections of it are going out dark.
Oh my
and
God.
That is where we're going to end the first session of Cosmos Candela.
Okay.
Thank you so much, my what was it? Cosmonauts, kooky cosmonauts, kooky cosmonauts.
Thank you,
cosmonauts.
Golly.
You all are still separated. Things will occur to draw you in together when we come back in the new year. But thank you so much, stream, for watching this. Now, before we go, I'm going to start, and we're going to start off. We're going to start off backwards. So we're going to start first with Terry Bites Player. Julia, what is your internet handle? Where can people find you?
Hello, my name is Julia again. I am at stark.ju everywhere. Maybe like similar to that everywhere.
You'll get there. If you search on the platform for that, you'll find it.
You'll find it.
Use the internet, folks.
And
Use the internet.
I draw.
If you're you're here, you know how the internet works.
Yeah, if you're here, you know how the internet works. Will, where can people find you?
Hi, you can find me at, on TikTok for as long as it exists at Radio Free Will. I am also getting into other platforms. I'm over on YouTube at Radio_Free Will. And and given my current lack of full gainful occupation, you may see me show up here on Twitch at Beggar Street. Give me a follow. Give me a follow at all those places. It would be great.
Kelly, where can people find you?
Okay. Before I tell you where you can find me, I forgot to mention that Kilo has a secondary set of eyes. I forgot to mention that in my description. He has his main set of eyes, and then there's a small... Yeah, it is important. I need to say it before the session is over. He has a smaller set of eyes underneath.
Oh,
But-
God, I thought they were the nipples.
Yeah, this wonderful, wonderful monster of a man.
He is. My good time boy, my big good time boy. Hi, I'm Kelly. I go by the Kellhop on the internet. That's where you can find me anywhere and everywhere. If you're looking to listen, if you're looking to listen to things that I am in, you could try out Error 313, which is an audio drama I am in, and it's so much fun. I've had so much fun working on it with all my friends. And you can also find me often over on The Heart is a Dungeon, which is a podcast, and we tell sad stories, and I love it very much. And also, you're going to find me here all the time now with my good buddy Steve.
Also, if you're looking to listen to things, then you're using the wrong sensory organs for the wrong purpose.
Sure. Well, I mean, you got to look for them to know.
You got to search it up.
That's fair. Okay, yeah.
That's true. You got to hunt them down.
Nose and eyes.
Right. It's
Glitch, where can people find you?
Well, while TikTok still exists, you can find me as that son of a glitch, or on Instagram as well, or that SOG for short. There's usually an underscore between that and SOG. The T and the S.
Yeah. And yeah, well, TikTok still exists. It'll totally be fine in January 19th. I'm not going to panic and have a breakdown of this thing that became my identity during the pandemic. It's fine. Being taken away from me like my favorite pacifier. And finally, Abby, where can people find you?
Hi there, I am Abby. I'm known as Skill Girl Productions on the internet, mainly on TikTok. I need to revitalize other avenues as well. I haven't even thought about that. I should probably do that.
I'm finally going to lure Abby to other platforms. Exciting.
Honestly,
So
give me
exciting.
recommendations. I don't know shit ever.
I started the
all-
Blue
at
Sky
all.
too. It's Radio Free Will over there too. I forgot about that.
Oh, same,
Yep.
yeah.
And yes, but do look for us via our handles on socials. Again, my name is Steve. I'm your game mommy. You can find me at Dying of Exposure across all platforms: Tumblr, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Pinterest, I think, technically. Of course, TikTok, YouTube. As I said, these will normally happen weekly on Tuesdays. We will be back in the new year to get started in earnest. This was a little preview pilot. And we will be back with these wonderful, wonderful players. But for now, tell your friends and everything. Look us up on socials, follow us there, and be excited for us to come back and rein in. And follow us on socials that aren't TikTok, because you might... it's not gonna stop existing as a platform, and our handles will probably all still exist, but like accessibility to it may be varying degrees of challenging for different people depending on how they decide to implement the ban. So until then, see you all next year. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
We're gonna raid.
Bye.
Oh, I'm not rating anybody on this first one, only because I don't have the menu up. But I will start rating people in the
We're
next.
so close
Bye.
to the end
Bye,
of the
everybody.
Bye. Thank you for
year.
coming.
Yeah.
Bye.